Good morning, all my winos and vinos. Today I'm going to tell you how to build a trellis. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's going to help our channel grow a lot faster, and we really appreciate it. Alright, let's do this. Alright guys, the very first step is going to be your end post. So we'll figure out where you want to build your vineyard, but I'll do a separate video online on location, on choosing the correct location or best location. But for right now, we'll just focus on the trellis itself. First thing you're gonna do, guys, is go ahead and figure out your end post. This post, you would go ahead and put it in, and then you're gonna go ahead and run your end post. So it doesn't really matter specifically where you choose those two, because everything you do after that will be a measurement from that, right? So we chose there, and we actually started. Put your middle ones in, you put your two ends first, okay? Go ahead and put in your second post. Alright, you can decide if you want to do your end posts, the support structure for your end post now or later. It doesn't really matter, because until you're starting to put weight on it, but it's up to you. And for the end post, I'll show you what we did, but really guys, I've seen so many different designs on this that I would say pick the one you think you can do, or pick your favorite and go with that. And so what we ended up doing, we ended up putting another post 6 feet away. We put the support timber right in between them, and then we tightened the top, I don't know if you can see that really well, with this with some high tensile wire, and we just basically tightened it even more with this aluminum rod. So it basically doesn't allow the end posts to separate from each other. And that's basically our design. But I've seen X's, I've seen an anchor point down there instead. I've seen anchor points on either side of it, and I think it's just kind of, you know, where you build up your building influences from and what you want to do from there. You're going to use a spool like this, alright? You're going to tie off to the end of your post, and then you're going to go ahead and walk all the way down to your other post. It doesn't have to be like off the ground or anything, just make it tight. Alright? So what that does is that basically tells you the plane at which your line is going to go. Alright? So now you know where everything needs to be set up down that plane. And if you look, we're pretty good. We're pretty straight on that line. If you can see that. All the way down. Once you do that, the next thing you need to do is pick up one of these. Alright, this is 100 feet measuring tape, and you start at one post, you go out maximum 100 feet. That's where you're going to drop your support post, in the middle of your trellis. Before you run your wires, I would go ahead and install the T-posts. Figure out what spread you want. We did T-post every third one, but T-post every second one would be good too, or every other one. And that's basically what you're deciding. If you want to do every other one or every 3, it's a lot cheaper to do every 3rd one. And for most vineyards, that's enough. That's high enough. We use 8-foot posts, dug it in close to 2 feet so that it has more support. Alright, once you've gone through and dug in all your T-posts, drill the holes through your end posts like so, and like so. As you go through, at that point, you're going to go ahead and tighten your high tensile wire. The high tensile wire I got on Tractor Supply. What you do here, guys, yeah, see, there's a little hole there. That's where you run your wire through, and then you begin to ratchet this back. Alright, there's a little tool that comes with it at Tractor Supply, and it's just like a lever, and you ratchet it. You ratchet it, and you want it to be pretty tight. I go as tight as I can make it, really, without me thinking it's gonna snap, because these wires are gonna provide support. This one provides support. The bottom one to provide some support, but mostly it's to hold your drip line. So once you've tightened that up, the last thing you need to do is attach your wire to your upright supports, right? So you see here, I attached it at this T-post connector, and I attached that to the wire. What we did for the rebar, which we use like less 1/4 inch rebar. We got real thin rebar because they're not really there to support the structure, the main structure. They're there to support the plant, and they're a lot cheaper. There, once you have your first row, you can measure off your first row to decide where you're going to go ahead and do your second row. And this is what's going to keep them really, really straight. And again, the way you measure them off is you're going to come off your end post, measure off your distance. For us it was 10 feet, or 12 feet rather. And that's where you know that's your plane you're going to try to get it on. Because we are at a diagonal, our rows don't sit perfectly off each other. They kind of space out a little bit. But here, if your row was like a box or square, your end post would be right here. And if you look down the line, your end post would be completely straight. And if you look down the line, for us, our end posts do line up, but on a diagonal plane instead. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good rest of your day.